Good day to all. Today we can discuss about the scatter plot in the subject Foundations of Data Science. So what is a scatter plot? Understanding relationship between variables. So we are contained there is a scatter diagram also. It is one of the most fundamental and powerful tool in statistics and data science for visually exploring the relationship between two quantitative variables. So a scatter plot is a graph containing a cluster of dots where each dot represents all the values from a single pair of observations. So for example, if we are studying between two variables x and y for a group of subjects, each exactly one dot to the scatter plot placed at the coordinates x comma y corresponding to that the subject's measurements. Scatter plots are most commonly used to detect whether a relationship exists between two variables, determine the direction of that relationship, either positive or negative, estimate the strength of the relationship, strong, moderate, weak, identify the form of the relationship, it's a linear or curvilinear, spot unusual data points or outliers. For these purpose, we are using this scatter plots. How to construct a scatter plot? So, how to construct is step one, scale the axis or scale variable. Scale each of the two variables along the horizontal x and vertical y axis. Choose appropriate scales for each variable. One variable is plotted on the x axis, that is nothing but the independent variable, and the other on the y axis, which is the dependent variable. So step two is plot each pair, identify use each pair of scores to locate a dot within the scatter plot. That is the generates one pair of coordinates, one each and every dot represents. Okay. Third step is the anchor lines. So what is this anchor lines represents? For a given pair, we'll score 7 on X, 12 on Y, draw perpendicular line for each axis. Okay. And the next is mark intersection. So the dot is placed where the two perpendicular lines intersect. So this represents the subjects on the data points. The, there are types of scatter plots. The slope and direction of a dot cluster reveals the nature of the relationship between the two variables. So one is positive relationship, next is negative relationship, and the third is little or no relationship. So how we are going to so positive towards a positive direction, negative towards a negative direction, little or low relationship, we can say it will be a normal or the mean with the mean. Okay. So the first is positive relationship. So first I will show the graph representing this. So positive relationship. Directly the see the graph, first graph, it is going to be a trending increasing manner. So its slope is from lower left to upper right. So a dot cluster that slopes from the lower left to the upper right reflects a positive relationship, also called a direct relationship. In a positive relationship, we have small values of one variable tend to be paired with small values of the other variable. Large values of one variable tend to pair with large values of the other variable. Both variables increases or decreases together. So height and weight show a positive relation. Short people tend to be lighter and tall people tend to be heavier. One example we can quote. Next is negative relationship. See the negative relationship graph. So it will be going from the upper to the towards it is going to be down. So heavy smoking and the life expectancy is given. So if you are smoking for a long duration, your estimated life is going to be tending down, right? So how to define it? A dot cluster that slopes from the upper left to the lower right reflects a negative relationship. Also, we can state it as an inverse relationship. So, in a negative relationship, small values of one variable tend to be paired with large values of the other. Large values of the one variable tend to be paired with small values of the other. As one variable increases, the other tend to be decreasing. So one which is shown here with the for smoking people also, the number of hours spent watching television increases What about your GPA? GPA might decrease. So it is a negative relationship. Third one is little or no relationship. So see the graph. It will be scattered around all the directions. So what is this little or no relationship? A dot cluster that lacks any apparent slope reflects little or no relationship between the two variables. So in this case, small values of one variable are just as likely to be paired with small, medium, or large values of the other. Knowing the value of one variable gives no useful information about the other. The dots appear randomly scattered with no directional pattern. So example, shoe size and IQ score, whether there is any relationship? No, not at all. So it will be one of the examples. So IQ is not a relation, have a relationship with the shoe size. Next is strength of relationship, strong correlation, strong relationship. The more closely the dot cluster appears a straight line, the longer or more regular the relationship. Weak relationship, scattered lines, no clear line. Moderate loose cluster around the line. Strong relationship, tight cluster near a line. So the first figure represents weak relationship. Second figure represents the moderate relationship, and the third one represents the strong relationship. So it is one of the, we can quote with an example. So in the strong relationship, we have dots clustered tightly around an imaginary straight line, and moderate dot forms a recognizable but loose cluster around a line. And in weak relationship, when dots are broadly scattered with only a vague linear tendency, the relationship weak prediction would carry a large uncertainty. Okay. So a real world example we can quote is, see the diagram, it's a pair type, foster parents and foster child. Then unrelated individuals raised together, siblings, moderate overlap, many things will be there. We can see that in the diagram. And another one form of relationship is linear or perfect relationship and curvilinear relationship. So what is that linear relationship? When a cloud cluster approximates a straight line, whether positive or negative, the relationship described as linear. So this linear relationship, we can have a perfect relationship dot cluster that exactly equals a straight line. So that is actually considered to be a perfect linear relationship. So mainly it is having exactly correlation coefficient of 1 or -1. Whenever you go for this curvilinear relationship, sometimes a dot cluster approximate a bend or curved line rather than a single straight line, as you have seen in this diagram. This is the example for curvilinear relationship. So the relationship changes direction or rate at some points. A single straight line cannot adequate to capture the pattern. So this particular represents a physical strength over a lifetime. So for example, when you are in a children, like a child, relatively low grip strength, small and still developing, right? When you become an adult, what happens? You have a very high strength, so peak grip strength, physically mature. Unless see after when you are going to increase in age, you will be going as an older adult. So declining grip strength. So this is one example for curvilinear relationship we can quote. Okay. So this is about the scatter plot and its types. So if plotted with age, you can able to see that that's a no straight line. It's a U-shaped pattern, right? So what are the things we have discussed? We have discussed about the positive relationship, negative relationship, no relationship, strong, then weak, perfect, and curvilinear relationship. Uh, in this scatter plot, how it will be represented as a scattered diagram. Okay, well, thank you.